Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Lifestyleboostpod. It's your host, Emma Mabo.
And the CMABO.
And we're back. It's a new year.
This is the first episode in our year.
Yes.
And I think the first thing you guys will probably notice in this episode is our lovely Mary is gone. So see you next year.
You need to quit calling her Mary. It was Elizabeth.
No, last episode you said it was Mary. She said it was Mary last episode.
I thought it was Elizabeth. We're going to call her Mary Elizabeth.
We said Mary because Mary, the mom of God. Anyways, or mom of Jesus. But
anyways, Happy New Year, guys.
I know. Happy New Year.
Thank you guys for coming back to our pod.
I know. Okay, so before we even start, I do want to say I sound like shit right now.
You do.
Because I've been really sick the past couple of days. Hence why you're going to see this. Shout out to Propel. They've been helping me the past couple of days to get off this congestion because I need my electrolytes. So I could potentially sneeze. So I'm very sorry about that.
Yeah, and it's crazy because I just got over a cold and I'm not trying to get sick. So I told her, you need to keep your distance.
I think Ryan got me sick because he was sick last week.
Both
and
of
I
y'all,
was fine. Yes,
both of y'all need to stay away from me because I cannot afford to be sick. Anyways.
That's not true, guys.
Nah, y'all are two sick people.
Yeah.
Anyways, what have you been doing since the year started?
I think I've really just been chilling. I've been watching Singles Inferno. I freaking love that show.
Oh my God. Like Singles Inferno. Let's talk about it. Cause this guy called Guan He
I don't know what his name is, but he's full of it.
He's the basketball player.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying I don't know how to pronounce his name, but I know
yes, it's Guan He.
Yeah.
And he bothers me. There's no problem with being confident, but it just bothers me. You know, he's like, he was telling the girls like, my top three are you, and you.
I know.
And
I saw
that. What is wrong
Everyone
with you?
is in an uproar for that one. I did think that was weird. Anyway, so I'm watching Singles Inferno. Let me see, what other shows am I currently watching? I'm watching this other one. The girl's name there is Samdal, but I don't know what the title of the show is.
I think it's Welcome to Samdal or something like that.
Yeah, it is such a good show.
I saw that on Netflix.
I've watched the first 10 episodes, but I'm waiting for the other 5 to come out or the other 6, and they don't come out until the end of the year. So I was like, why did I do this to myself? But
at the end of the year is crazy.
Yeah.
Right now I'm watching Dr. Romantic. Remember you put me on?
God, I finished watching it in 3 days, and I was like, I need you guys. And okay, so at the end of it, this is not a spoiler, but at the end of it, it shows with the suspense. It ended on a cliffhanger, so it looks like there's gonna be a season 4.
I cannot wait.
So I that's the only show that I've watched all 3 seasons, and it's still just
because
intense.
I'm on episode 13 right now, and it's I don't want it to end.
Yeah,
it's so intense. And before we get into our podcast episode today, let me just say, Dr. Romantic, right? I feel like the savior complex in that show is ridiculous. And it bothers me because all of them are trying to be like Kim Tabu.
Yeah.
And it just bothers me because all of them have a savior complex. Anyways, let's talk about the shows we were watching back home.
Man, I can't even remember. I know there was this one. It was a Bollywood movie. Bollywood is Indian, right?
Yes.
Yeah. The one with Tapasya and the other girl. What is her name?
Yes. I don't. Was it Kushi?
I don't remember. Something
was
in
it
Tapasya.
Kushi and Tapasya? And Tapasya was the evil one, right?
Yeah, she was the evil sister, and the other one was the poor girl.
The poor girl.
Mom was
yes.
The mom was the maid of the house or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let me just say, them Bollywood movies, the production is horrible. I'm not even trying to come for y'all, but the production is so bad.
Yeah.
Because the movies, we used to watch one at home, and I think you had moved out then. It was called Joda Akbar, right?
No, I don't
know
that one.
That was an amazing show. At some point, we got used to the suspense, because the slow-mo was ridiculous.
Yeah, have 20 different camera angles and stuff.
No, I'm telling you, let's say yes, and let's say Joda, right? Joda she was the main actress. Let's say Joda is, because she was the main actress. She's married to this dude. His name was Jalal. I'm pretty sure it's Jalal, and Jalal was a king, right? So obviously people were trying to target him and stuff. And let's say Joda is in danger, and the enemy is trying to kill her. Out of nowhere, Jalal is just gonna appear, and Joda will be like, and the episode is gonna continue like this for damn near 15 minutes. And I'm like, bro. And then keep in mind, we used to watch it back home, so ads will pop up.
Yeah.
So an ad will pop up, and the ad is done, and we're still on. And I'm I'm like, bro, like, you know what I mean?
And it used to be so bad.
It used to be so bad, but we just loved it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And keep in mind, like, it's not like we had like a DVD or anything like that. We had this channel. It's called African Magic, I think it was called.
Well, African Magic was for Nollywood movies, for Nigerian music.
Well, sometimes didn't they show the other ones?
They did, but like the main place we watched it was like ZTV or WeTV or something like that.
Was it? I know there was African Magic 1 and African Magic 2, if I'm remembering correctly.
And they did show like the shows, but like I think I watched Joda Akbar on like WeTV or something like that. But remember, like Kushi was showing on African Magic.
I don't know what Kushi is. What
it's
show
the one
was
with
that?
Tapasia.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
I just remember her name being Tapasia, but I don't remember like what the other girl's name was.
I think the other girl's name was Kushi. I don't know. I'm getting it wrong. Yeah. But there was another telenovela. We used to watch a lot of telenovelas.
I love the telenovelas. I love them.
I feel like I've gone to a point where there was one that it showed for a while. Corazon Valiente.
Corazon, yeah.
And I watched that and I came to the US and it was streaming on Netflix and I watched it without the subtitles because I was like, I can remember everything that happened in that show.
The shows were so like, and the plot twist.
The plot twist was crazy.
The plot twists were intense. Like telenovelas are really good.
If you haven't watched Corazon Valiente, I definitely recommend. Like there's this lady Fernanda and she's crazy. She's like nuts. And I remember watching that show and I was talking to a lady at my job about that show and she was like, I can't believe you all watched that. I was like, oh yeah.
And the thing, I didn't watch it. I saw it when it was streaming in the US, but I didn't watch it because it's like 300 episodes or something.
It was like 300 and something episodes.
And I was like, nah, I don't got time.
Oh yeah, no. When I moved out here, I didn't have a job. So I was watching that like back to back.
No, the reason why we were watching it back home is because like on the channel that we were watching it at, they would show like one episode every day.
Yeah.
So it's like at a specific time, maybe like 7 p.m. or 7:30. Literally everyone is in their house waiting to watch
it. And my mom, right, you're not slick. First of all, you're not slick because remember how we told you guys like the dishes in our house was like ridiculous. It was a ridiculous amount of dishes. And so at 7 to 9 it was like 7 through like 12 they show like show after show after show, right? And the shows were like an hour. Like the episodes were like an hour, right?
Episode was like 45 minutes to an hour.
45 minutes to an hour. Well, what makes it an hour is all the ads in between. You know, it's pretty much just like Hulu. So they show an episode every day. So my mom, throughout the day, she's been telling me, do the dishes. And I'm like, no. Like, I'm just like being lazy and stuff, right? And then she knows that I love these shows. Keep in mind, I used to be obsessed, especially with Corazon Valiente. Like, that was my show. At 9 p.m., my mom just, Emma, go and wash those plates. And I'm like, bro, come on now. And she's like, Emma, go and wash those plates. And I remember just complaining, you know, because I'm like,
something that I used to like though, like, well, when I was living with her, it wasn't an issue. Like whenever it was time to watch the shows, like we and her would just like cuddle up and like watch them together.
Yeah.
But like, what I really enjoyed was the next morning at like 9 a.m. or like 10 a.m. in the morning, they repeat whatever episode they showed the previous day.
And on Saturdays, I think they show the whole thing.
The whole thing. So on Saturday, they'll show probably like, if they showed like 5 seasons or 5 episodes during the week, they'll show the entire thing on Saturday.
That's how it
worked, right?
And and on Saturdays, it's like, because obviously the store was open at the time, right? The little pub was open at the time. And so these guys from the garage will come to drink at the pub. So it's like on Saturdays, I'm over there trying to watch what I missed during the week. I was religiously following the shows. Keep in mind, like, so I would try to like watch what I was like, what I missed during the week. And mommy's like, Emma, go to the store. Emma. I'm like, oh my God, bro. Like, just leave me alone. But
I don't know if you remember this one. You might have been really young. So I don't know if you remember, because this was back when like I saw them was still like at home. But The Promise. Do you remember The Promise?
Of course I remember The Promise.
The Promise was so
It was
good.
like a Filipino, right?
That was Filipino. Yeah.
Ina
like,
and Angelo.
Yeah, Ina and Angelo. Filipino shows are so
Filipino
good.
shows are good.
They're so underrated too.
Yes.
I think the plot twists are like, they are amazing.
Oh yeah, they are.
Like, I loved The Promise. It was really good.
And I feel like I think I've watched a similar. Okay, so the actors were the same from Ina and Angelo, but like it was a similar storyline. So they were the main like actors. They were the main actors, and they fell in love and whatever. But like it just reminded me of The Promise so much.
That guy, I've seen him in a lot of other shows. The same guy, but like I've seen him in so many other shows, and he's such a great actor. I don't know if he still acts movies, but like Ina and Angelo was really good.
Ina and Angelo was a vibe.
Yeah,
like it was definitely a vibe.
So there's this other show that I've watched, and I think I'm the one that put you on to that show, because when you first said, well, I'm the one that really put you on to Korean shows like that.
Yeah,
because like we watch Korean shows when we were back home, but the thing is, like when you came out here, you were like freaking out about Boys Over Flowers, and I was like,
okay,
what are you talking about?
Let
like,
me give you context.
There is like so many other good shows. Hold on. Like, I was like, there's so many other good shows. So you were like, oh my gosh, there's this show, Boys Over Flowers, and I'm watching them. Like, I'm like, why are you watching this? There's so many other good shows.
Let me give you context, right? When we were in boarding school, I had this friend. Her name is Emanuela as well. Shout out to her, right? So I had this friend, and the way she would explain, she was such a good storyteller. So the way she would explain Boys Over Flowers, bro, like, I knew the movie without even watching it. So when I watched the movie, everything that she explained was the same thing that was happening in the show. So I was in awe when I watched the movie because she's such a good storyteller. So like she told us the plot, like she explained it multiple times in the dorm. You know what I'm saying?
Remember, that's actually a thing too. Like people would watch shows like that when we're bored at
school.
Like if you watch the whole movie and you actually remember the whole movie, you gather everyone together,
around,
and just tell the story.
And you just tell the story, and people were good storytellers. You know, and my friend,
sometimes they're even acting it. That's how crazy it was.
And my friend Emanuela, she was such a good storyteller. So she would, bro, every single one of my classmates, like Melissa would tell you, like how Emanuela explained Boys Over Flower. It was like word for word. So when I was watching it, I was in awe. You know what I'm saying? So I was like so obsessed with the show because I was like Boys Over Flower, and then you put me onto Strong Woman Kim Bok Chu.
Yeah, like that's so it was a couple that year. It was, I think I put you on
Bong Soon, yeah.
I think I put you onto Descendants of the Sun first.
Oh, yeah.
So it was that one. Now I told you Descendant of the Sun, this one, Oh My Ghost, and then Strong Woman, Bong Soon, and then the list just continues after that because at that point I had watched so many good ones. And the girl that really put me onto this was this one girl in El Camino College in Los Angeles. So I met her and she was obsessed. And back then, like, there used to be concerts, like K-pop concerts that would happen in LA. So she was also part of like a fandom. I wasn't really into it like that, so I wouldn't go to the concerts, but she told me about Vicky. So before Vicky, there was something called Drama Cool or Drama something.
When Drama Fever?
Drama Fever. So before that, there was Drama Fever. So she was like, okay, so she was obsessed with Korean shows. She was like, there's two apps you have to download on your phone, on your iPad. It was like Drama Fever and Vicky. She explained like Drama Fever had better shows, and Vicky was just like the backup thing back then. And then I don't know, for whatever reason, Drama Fever, they, I don't know what happened, but like they just stopped streaming movies and their company shut down. So then I transitioned to Vicky. But let me tell you, like whenever I was in school,
I'm so excited hearing about this.
I would watch Drama Fever every single day. Like if you see me stuck eating my lunch, I'm like this. Like I was so invested in the shows, and they like after watching that, I just stopped watching American shows.
No,
because
literally,
I was like, they're just so interesting.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like my friends would tell you, I'm not interested in American shows unless I'm like super tuned in. Like Korean shows are just so funny. Yeah, that's what attracts me to them.
I saw a girl on TikTok yesterday. She was saying that like whatever happened to like directors, like movie directors, specifically American movie directors. So she was saying that whatever happened to movie directors actually like, choosing a character, not just because they're pretty, but choosing characters that actually have chemistry.
Yeah.
So like, nowadays you see shows, like you see a rom-com, it's like, okay, there's two beautiful people, but then they don't have chemistry.
Yeah.
So she was saying like whatever happened to like directors actually choosing characters, not just because they're beautiful, but like you could still choose like a mid character that is not like the sexiest character, but then they have like crazy chemistry because that's what keeps you watching.
Yeah.
And I was I left a comment, I was like, girl, you need to check out Korean shows. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, no,
like,
because
just check out Korean shows.
I feel like some of the movies that come out nowadays, and I'm not even shading nobody, but I think some of the movies that come out nowadays, they need to put that shit on Tubi. They need to leave it on Tubi. and not, because I'm not going to call the name of the movie, but me and my friend went to the movies the other day and I was bored. Like I was so bored out of my mind. I was on TikTok the whole time because I was like,
it don't even matter if you
I was like,
the movie,
oh no, girl,
sure.
they're gonna drag me. I'm not about to.
I'm pretty sure other people.
I was bored out of my mind. I was just sitting there like, because it was just so static.
I'm sorry, you couldn't pay me. Like the only recent American show that I watched that I'm like I'm waiting for it to come out is Georgia and what's
Ginny and Georgia?
Ginny and Georgia. Like I started watching it, and he was pissed off. He like every time like so there's this guy, right, that makes this reference on TikTok, and I was like, oh my god, that is my boyfriend. Like whenever he said like, oh, the girlfriend is watching like a cringe show, and the boyfriend would be like, oh my gosh, like what the hell are you watching? It's cringe. And then the next minute he's standing, like he's not even sitting, he was standing like at the corner of the door watching it and seeing something interesting, and then the next second he's also on the chair with her watching it, and then the next minute he's the one giving her the update of, oh, you don't even know what happened, da, da, da. I was like, that's my boyfriend. Because when we were watching Ginny and Georgia, when I started watching it, he was like, oh my god, all these teenagers, that's why I hate teenagers. And then the next minute he's all next to me, cut it up like, oh, what's happening? And then the next minute he's telling me about the show. I'm like, whatever happened to you finding my shows cringe?
Exactly.
But anyways, that's the only American show that like I watch, and then we have our shows that we watch together, but all of those are on Hulu. So it's 911 Lone Star and 911 LA.
I put you on 911 Lone Star. Yeah, that is such a good show. I actually
love the Lone Star now more than the
better than the
so it's
OG,
911
right?
Lone Star, 911 LA, and then we're watching The Rookie. If you haven't watched The Rookie,
I haven't.
So fucking good.
Yeah?
Like it is so good. Yeah, like the first like maybe season is like it's a drag, but then like the following season there is this. I'll just give you a hint, right? There is this two people. The girl's name is Lucy and the guy's name is Bradford Tim. So he is her what they call him, Teal, right, training officer. And then like, but there's so much chemistry with them. Like from day one, I was like, these two people have chemistry. You can't tell me. And then they end up dating, but they're the cutest couple ever. So
well, you just ruined it for everyone that was potentially.
Oh, I'm sorry. If
that's a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
This Propel is actually really good. You know?
Yeah, it's really good. I love the what flavor is this? The berry. Yeah, it's really good.
Oh,
that's
is
like
kiwi.
A kiwi. Yeah,
yeah, and
that's a good show. You should check it out.
And definitely will. I mean, I don't have time to watch shows, so right now, I mean, I go back to school on the 8th. So from now to the 8th, I'm like binge watching as much as I can. You put me onto 1988.
Oh yeah,
it's a Korean show, and bro, if you're Cameroonian, you need to watch that show. It's like literally nostalgic watching it. It's like almost the same thing as what happens back home. Like I was watching it and I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I've watched that show like 3 times over, and the thing about it is that like it gives you, so if you grew up in like a neighborhood where, you know, like you were friends with the kids, like each parent, like your parent can just wake up in the morning and be like, oh, go over to this one's house, and they go about their business. That's how the show is, very family oriented,
community oriented too.
Exactly. So it's more so like each family takes care of like each other. You know what I mean? Like during dinner time, they may not have all the food, but it's like this one is sending
potatoes here. This one, that's literally what happens back home.
That's exactly. It's very nostalgic.
Yeah,
and like, if you grew up in the community, you will relate so much to that show.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
And then plus, it's so funny. Like the actors are just unintentionally funny. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like the guy with the fucking glasses.
And it was back in the day too when there was no mobile phones.
Yes,
so I mean, there was phones, but there wasn't like, you know, mobile phones. So they were using like either pagers or they were using like the home line. That's
and I feel like the reason why me and you related to that so much is because obviously when we were growing up we had phones and whatever, but we didn't have phones to a certain age. You know what I'm saying?
I think my first phone was when I was either 12 or 13, but that phone very quickly got taken away from me.
Oh yeah,
so
it did.
I only had it for like maybe like a week.
The first phone that I owned was like in like 2014.
I think my first phone that I owned was 2015 when I graduated with my GCEs, and I was bought an actual phone. That was my first
that was my first time too. I'm saying 2014. I think I graduated. Oh yeah, 2014 was when I had my GCE, right? Or 2015. That's when I had an actual phone. You know, that's when my mom was like, okay, like y'all are in need for a phone, and I had like an iPhone 1. You know?
You had an iPhone? Bitch, I had a ZTE.
Dun, 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 dun.
But I had this big ass phone, like a huge brick in my hand. But it was
the only reason why the only reason why I had an iPhone 1 was because my mom had the iPhone. I don't know where she got it from, but the phone won't take.
I think I know what phone you're talking about. That's the phone plus seed center.
The little tiny thing, right? The only reason the phone it didn't download anything, so WhatsApp couldn't go in there.
Call and text.
It was just phone call and text, you know. But like hey, a win is a win.
Do you know what? Do you know? I remember stealing her phones. At the time, I only had my boyfriend's phone number, so I remember stealing her phone, and like I remember how tiny that phone is. But like I'll go like send text messages.
Yes, and it was the little phones with the buttons, right?
Yeah, like I'll go send text messages to my boyfriend real quick and delete my traces. I remember I used to do.
She had that phone for a while, and I did that too. You know, my first boyfriend at the time, I used to have his number. Like I used to remember his number offhand, so I'll just go typing his number real quick and send messages. And I don't even know how we were reading the messages because how tiny the phone was. It was like super tiny. But yeah,
no, there's her iPhone didn't have buttons though.
No, but remember before the iPhone, she had the little tiny black
the
phone.
Motorola.
The Motorola, yeah. You know, that shit was horrible.
The screen was green.
And then the only game that was in there was the little snake game. The little snake game that you press the button.
The snake gets longer the more you eat.
The more you eat things, the snake gets.
Yeah.
That was horrible, bro. But like we're so bored, and that was like literally the only thing we could play with. Okay, so we spoke about Bollywood movies, which are Indian movies. We spoke about telenovelas. We spoke about Korean movies. Let's talk about Nollywood, because obviously we're African. We grew up on Nollywood movies, right? And the production, if you think the production in back in the day, don't come for me. I'm saying back in the day, if you think the production in Bollywood movies were bad, the one in Nigerian movies were crazy.
Have you seen the one with the Spider-Man?
Bro, Spider-Man jumps like a frog, like, dun, and it, bro, it's horrible.
It's so bad. Oh my God.
Like, I watched the Spider-Man and I remember just looking like, how dare y'all put something out like this? You know?
It was so bad. The fact that we were eating up that
we were
shit.
eating it up.
That's all we had to watch.
That's all we had to watch. So I'm like, damn, like, the Spider-Man y'all American kids grew up with and the Spider-Man we watched back home. Because that Nigerian Spider-Man was crazy. You know what I'm saying? I was like, the Spider-Man was hopping like a frog. And like what's the little white thing? The web was some lace or some shit. I was like, what is this, bro? Like,
I think the worst one that I saw other than the Spider-Man was a movie that needed a helicopter, and they did like I don't know if they took that helicopter from like a cartoon or something like that,
and it just flew like, and I'm like,
was so evident. And then the Photoshop the people's heads and hands hanging out of it as if they're actually there.
It's crazy.
I was like, you guys could just cut the whole scene.
Remember,
off, this is really bad.
The magic cap. If you're Nigerian, you know that movie called The Magic Cap. Now it was this guy. I don't know. I don't remember the context of the show, but like it was this guy. He was like a wizard or something. Like he was one of the little shrine masters or whatever. And if you're like, I guess doing something bad, the magic cap would like land on your head. Yeah. And if that magic cap, if it's a hat, right? If it lands on your head, you're gonna die. And so the way they had the magic cap flying,
I'm not even joking.
I'm not joking. Like, yeah, we need to find the show for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so bad.
The way the magic cap was flying, I was like, bro, who created this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, the production was horrible, but at the same time, we were eating it up.
That's all we had to watch.
We were eating it up. And I remember I was so scared to, bro, me and Dosia, like, when we watch a little scary movie, we're holding each other to like go into, because we had this hallway in our living room, in our house, and the hallway was pitch black. So when we watch a scary movie like The Magic Cap, we get all scared. I had a dream that the magic cap landed on my head. It's just like
so remember those stories I told you that like there'll be times where like we want to use the restroom, like, or like because like the light will cut off literally every single day.
Yeah.
And so if the light cut off and like one of us has to go to like our bedroom, remember I told you we had like a long hallway, like we would go get what we want to get, and then when we're coming back, you just feel this like
it's a weird
goosebumps up your spine, and we just start running. Like we don't know what we're running from, but we just start running. Like,
bro,
I think there was a ghost in our house.
I'll go in, right? In my head, I'm like, there's nothing there. I'll go do what I'm doing, and then coming back, you just see me like picking. You just see me running, and it's like reason. I just feel scared. But yeah, like the movies. There's Nigerian movies that I really like the one with like the Mama G, Sam Loco, Aki really and Papa. Like they were super funny. You know, there was like shows that we grew up on that were super funny. But then when they wanted to like copy the little Spider-Man shit. I'm like, bro, what are y'all showing us?
The Spider-Man one was like that was
and then it was in the bush. The Spider-Man was in the bush, and the Spider-Man is hopping from one tree to another, like, dun! And then the little web was just some weird stuff. And I'm like, bro, why y'all copy this shit from Cartoon Network and put it on here? You know, it was just
they didn't have to go. Like, it was really bad.
Cartoon Network, okay, it wasn't like that.
no. See, it's like, imagine showing a real life movie, right? And then you just see some shit from Cartoon Network just popping up on the screen. Like, it was just a weird dynamic, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yeah, but we ate that shit up when we were growing up, you know, because that was all we had to watch, and we ate that shit up.
Yeah.
And the TVs were crazy. We had this TV. Let me paint you a scenario. We had this TV back home, right? It was a little box TVs, and like, obviously, if you're much older, if you grew up like maybe in the 90s, maybe you know exactly what I'm talking about. We had those little box TVs, and the TV in our house was so old that to get it to work, you have to like storm on that shit. Like, you gotta slap it a couple times for it, because it would just go like, you know, it would just go like it gets static, and like you have to like, you know, punch it a little bit, and then you start showing, and then before you know, you can't hear nothing. You punch it a little bit, and it was horrible.
So we had a fancier version before the version that you know, and you probably remember this. It was bigger. So the TV that we had like was the regular box screen, right? But on the side, it had this panel, and on the panel there was like maybe like 20 buttons on there, and this is supposed to be like the fancier version of like the later box screen TV we had. And the reason being, like, on that other channel, they like, you had so you know how we had the V, what is it called, the handles to get the antennas. So you know how we had like, you know how we had the antennas. Okay, so you know how with the antennas you had each channel, and the channels were like dedicated to like the city. The entire city will have like specific different channels. So that TV was custom made to those channels. So on the side of it, you would have like each channel's button on the TV, and then you would have like numbers on the TV as well, because some channels had like different numbers. So you'd have like numbers as well on the side of the TV. And then it also had like, of course, like the volume. Like it literally, it was
I feel like I remember.
It was like, it was a big ass screen, but on the side had like 20 different buttons.
The buttons, and then keep in mind the antenna, right? So when you're watching TV and it gets all static, you can control the antenna for it to like get back to normal. So like, if you tilt the antenna a little bit, it's gonna like maybe like not be as static as it is.
Do you remember we used to go steal channels? Like we would, I don't know if you remember.
We had the dish.
Yeah, we used to steal channels.
Yes, so I don't know who created this technology. Shout out to you. But it was like a dish. They called it a dish, right?
Well, we didn't need to have a dish. If our neighbors had it,
we had a way of just like connecting certain cables and just tapping it and stealing the channels. I'm telling you, there's geniuses back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's technical geniuses back home, and they just need to be found, because whoever created that technology is out of this world, you know?
Yeah.
But
because I know for a little bit we did that, and then our mom went and got the dish, and so we had access to all the channels.
Yeah.
And back in the day, it wasn't no thing like, oh, we have like Wi-Fi at home and like your Wi-Fi. No, we had to buy like, oh my God, like kids nowadays will hear this and they'll be mind blown. But like, we had to buy data every single day.
We had to buy data.
Like if you wanted data for like the entire day, you can go buy like 100 francs will probably give you data for like 24 hours.
It would.
Something like that.
Yeah. And 100 francs, like you said, because our currency was francs, right?
Yeah.
And 100 francs would give you data for a day, but keep in mind, like, that data is slow data.
Well, yeah, and also if you watch something or like you're on phone call for so long, you run out of your data.
Run out of data.
So that 24 hours is not guaranteed. It's not like unlimited 24 hours. It's strictly 24 hours. So if you're on phone call with like on WhatsApp or something like that, and you're on there for like 30 minutes, your data is gone.
Your data is gone.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, there was like immediately before I moved out, there was a thing where, and I think it's probably still going on right now. There was a thing where like you could go get data for like 500 francs, and it was like for like 30 days. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but it was like 30, I don't know if it was 30 days of unlimited text messages or 30 days of free data, but there was something like that where if you use 500 francs and activated data, it gives you data for that long. But like, I remember like before the little crisis started in Cameroon, or when the crisis started, we were like, the internet was cut for like months, maybe like a whole year, we had no internet, so if you had someone outside of the country, the only way like you could either like call them, or you can flash them. So what we did was like, let's say I want to talk to my mom, my dad, or anybody.
It's been so long since someone used that term, like flash
or like beep.
Yeah,
you used to call it flash or beep. So like, let's say someone's out of the country, you just call them for like a split second,
2 seconds.
Like the person's phone literally just has to like flash, and boom, the person will know, like, obviously I have to call them back.
Yeah.
So like, that's what we did for a whole year.
Oh my God, it's bringing back so much memories. Yeah. Like, if I wanted to call you, I'll literally just like dial your phone number for 2 seconds.
2 seconds and hang up.
But that means for you to call me back.
Yeah, like, that means I probably don't have enough credit, because it's like, data was one thing, but like just having like credit in your phone, we called it credit, right? I don't know the term to use.
It is credit.
Yeah, like credit was a thing as well. So I cannot send a message to you. If I don't have credit, my message is not going to go through. If I don't have credit, I'm not going to be able to call you. And that's exactly what I was saying. Like, people, you can do credit for 100 francs. You can do credit for 500 francs. You can activate the 500 francs. I think the 500 francs give you credit to call and text for about a month. Correct me if I'm wrong. But obviously, if you don't have credit, let's say you have just a limited amount of credit, then you flash somebody and the person has to call you back.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that makes me remember so much.
Do you remember whenever like my mom wasn't in the States yet, and I would have to call her and I'll dial this number and it'll ask me to put however much I wanted. They'll tell me like, oh, if you pay $5, you get 20 minutes. If you pay $10, essentially that's
called credit.
Yeah, that's credit. So like you would have to go buy like, and if you pay like 500 francs or something like that, you'd get more time. So basically the more you pay, the more time you get. But like she said, if you paid like 500 francs, it could give you like, I don't know, maybe like, I think it's 100 minutes a stretch. Like,
honestly, I don't even know if it was minutes or days, because I remember like I had done it once where like I think this was just solely on messages. Yeah, like I activated and I was able to text for like a couple of days.
So I remember something that like my ex-boyfriend and I had. We had this SD card that like, for what, I don't know how he did it, but the SD card gave us unlimited text and call. So I never had to pay anything. But the thing with that SD card is I couldn't call anyone else but him. So I could only call him, but like it was unlimited text and phone call. But if I tried calling someone else, it wouldn't work.
I don't remember how that worked. Yeah. And back home, there was like, how over here there's like T-Mobile, Metro PCS, Cricket, or
we only had one, wasn't it?
No, we had MTN, Orange, and Camtel.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah, so that's essentially the T-Mobile, Metro PCS, and Verizon and all that stuff. I
only remember MTN.
I think there's MTN. MTN is obviously like the biggest.
Main one.
That's the main one. There's MTN, there's Orange, and I think there's Camtel. I think that's the other one.
I wouldn't know. Like,
yeah, and also they have something called mobile money. So right now you can like send money back home to somebody directly on your phone, just like pretty much a Cash App. You know what I'm saying? Like someone from out here can just send money directly to somebody's phone over there, or like you can even send them credit. You know what I'm saying? Like you can activate them credit.
I didn't know it's been advanced that much, because when
we were there, it wasn't that advanced. And
like
I'm so happy that the country is going like that.
I'm happy it is, because like when I was there, we had this one neighbor that like, he was a scammer, right? But like he, like with the people that do scamming, I suppose they have to have like the Wi-Fi,
and they had the boxes.
So he had the box, like he had the router and the modem.
But it was like a portable one, right? Because remember the boxes were like...
I'm not sure if it was a portable one.
The boxes were white,
Yeah, but all I know is he had it.
Yeah.
But then it only extended so much to our section.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So you would have to go sit in the little hallway we had. To get Wi-Fi, to get unlimited Wi-Fi. So if I wanted to like make a phone call, I literally had to leave our house and go sit on a specific section on our hallway to pick up his Wi-Fi so I can get unlimited text and call.
Well, I don't even think it gave you text messages. That was WhatsApp. When
I say text, I mean WhatsApp.
Yeah,
not like actual text.
Yeah. Damn. That just brought back so many memories. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
That's actually crazy. Anyways, we're gonna talk about our segments now.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So now is our segment time. And again, I want to apologize because I've sounded really bad this episode, but we had to put it out, so bear with me. But it's our segment time. Again, I just want to make this known. We are accepting dilemmas. No one has sent in a dilemma yet, but if you're a faithful person watching our podcast, thank you, by the way. And if you have a story you want to share, it could literally be anything you want our opinion on, or just something you want to share. You can send your dilemmas to the email that's going to be linked down below. And we will read and have a chat on the podcast about it, and potentially give you unsolicited advice on it.
Oh, yeah. And if you want... even hot takes, if you want to ask our opinion on something, you can literally just shoot us an email.
I think next episode we should do another Q&A, because I was going through the comment section on our last Q&A like 3-4 episodes ago, and a lot of the comments were like, oh, I love this. They were saying they loved the Q&A we did, and they said they wanted us to do it more often. So I think we should probably do that like once a month or something.
Yeah, sure.
Like
we could definitely do that.
So yeah, I'm gonna pull up a poll on our Instagram. I'll probably put it up multiple days leading to our next episode. So if you guys have any questions or like juicy topics you want us to talk about, definitely send it in there. But for a segment, again, essentially what our segment is we ask each other questions in our own fields, in opposite fields, of course. So she asked me questions in the medical field because that's what she's affiliated with. And I asked her questions in the business field, of course, because I'm a business major. So do you want to go ahead and ask me your questions for today?
Yes.
By the way, our segment is called Teach Me What I Do Not Know. I keep forgetting to say
that's what the segment is called. Yeah. So pretty much we're learning from each other. Yeah. So I've been excited to ask you questions all day.
Yeah.
And you have the flu, right?
I think I do, yeah.
Well, I can't just diagnose you like that. You're sick.
I know I'm sick, but I don't know if it's the flu.
What we know is that you're sick, right? Yeah. Okay, so tell me, you've probably taken it already. Tylenol, right? You know how I always tell you that Tylenol has generic names and it has brand names. So pretty much Tylenol is just a brand name. That's just what the brand put it out as. Can you tell me what the generic name of Tylenol is?
Ibuprofen?
No, it's not. It's acetaminophen. So you got that one wrong.
Back home,
my man.
Back home, like if you tell your parents you have a headache, you tell them you have hard stool. You tell them you have running stomach, paracetamol, everything.
Let me tell you, you can have an aneurysm and they give you paracetamol. You can go in with like a gunshot wound, they're gonna give you paracetamol. You can go in with like a TBI, a traumatic brain injury. You're getting paracetamol. Like
our African parents are the best. Honestly,
they're the best.
Like anything that's wrong with you, paracetamol
cures it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and it was a nasty drug.
It was, and sometimes they'll grind it and force you to eat it.
Yes, and my mom would grind it and mix it with lemon, or not lemon. What do you call that little sticky thing? Honey. She'll mix it with honey and she'll give you the.
Do you know, real quick? Do you know something that she used to give us a lot and it actually helped?
What?
Ginseng.
Ginseng helped out.
It is so good for your health, especially your gut health. Your gut health is so good for it. Like I would pay anything to take ginseng right now.
Good luck. I would never take that shit no more. It's so bitter. And then the ginseng is not. It's not a drinking type of ginseng.
Oh no,
like,
it's the actual herb.
It's the herb and it's the root that is blended to a powder, and you have to chew it. And it's nasty,
it's
bro.
More so grounded.
It was grounded, so you have to like chew it, and I didn't like that. Anyway, so the generic name of Tylenol is acetaminophen. So you got that one wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're sick, and the doctor has told you, or first thing you take Tylenol or acetaminophen. What is something that you think would be contraindicated with that? Contraindicated means it's like you cannot take it with, or
alcohol.
Nice. Good job. Good job. She got that one right. Pretty easy, right? Okay. Next. So you possibly have the flu right now. We don't know.
No. The question started with you're sick.
You're probably spreading, because obviously it's teaching what you don't know. So you're probably giving us the flu. You're probably giving me the flu right now. So have you taken a flu shot?
No, I don't think I have.
How often do you think a person should take an adult should take the flu shot?
Once a year.
Nice. Annually. She got that one right. That's pretty easy. Anyone could have gotten that. The next one. So the flu shot is a vaccine, right? It's a live vaccine. And, as kids, we're given all these vaccines when they give birth to us. We have to take all these vaccines, obviously, to give us immunity to some certain diseases, right? What is a childhood vaccine that is given in 2 or 3 doses?
In 2 or 3 doses. Is it the polio vaccine?
Nope, she got that one wrong.
Wait. Keep guessing.
Keep guessing.
Meningitis?
No.
You get one more try and then I don't give you that.
Repeat that. You have to take it how many times?
In 2 or 3 doses.
It's not meningitis. It's not polio.
I can give you another hint.
What is it?
You could take that as an adult as well.
It has to be the hepatitis one.
Nice.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the Hep B.
I was gonna say chicken pox, but
Varicella is the vaccine you take as when you're younger, but as a kid, when you get to like 2 months and 6 months and some other month, you have to take the Hep B, and then obviously you take the Hep B as an adult, in certain circumstances.
Yeah,
in
I literally had to check mark it in my head because like when I first started community college, they asked
us all this stuff,
Yeah. Ooh, I
nice.
got 3 out of 4.
Good job.
Dang.
Good job. And you learned something about your damn flu.
I know. Okay, so onto business. Let's talk
business.
Okay, so remember how I told you that there are core documents in a business, right? I think the last time we spoke on a financial statement, income statement, and I was telling you those are important documents in business. Now this is another important another core important document in business, right? So you just need to tell me what it is. What is a cash flow statement?
Oh, a cash flow statement.
Yeah.
So I want to say that a cash flow statement is possibly going to be like, I don't want to use the same word to a cash flow statement. So I want to say it's like a document that shows you like the income that comes in and out of the business.
I think I'll give it to you.
Nice.
Yeah, because like it's essentially what she said. So essentially, like I said, a cash flow statement is one of the most important documents in a business, right? So in definition, this document reflects the movement of money in and out of a business over a particular time or over a particular period. A cash flow statement.
Get it where you moving. Got me in the drain. DJ, turn me up.
I need to finish the definition.
Go ahead.
A cash flow statement measures solvency, meaning an organization's ability to pay its bills.
You need to quit matching my energy, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you got that one right. Yeah.
Nice.
A cash flow statement just shows the movement of money in an organization. So next question. I think this one should be pretty easy to get. There is an opposite to this. So what is an intangible asset? The opposite of it would be a tangible asset. Yeah.
So an intangible asset, and example I'll give you is equity.
Okay. But like
it's like something that you own, but obviously you can't touch it. Like it's not physical.
I'll give that to her.
Got it where you moving. Got me in the train. DJ, tell me up.
Yeah. So in definition, assets that lack physical substance. Examples are patents, copyright, a franchise, goodwill, trademarks, a trade
LLC.
name, LLC, as well as any form of digital assets such as software or cryptocurrency and so on. So
Nice.
that's what intangible assets are. Not us being all smart pants.
It's the
today.
Propel.
There you go, hey.
It's the Propel. What you doing to us, Propel? Shout out to Propel.
Okay, so that's 2 questions down that you got right.
Sponsor us.
Please do.
Okay, so the next question, what are financial statements?
Financial statements.
I think you did this one before.
But that was the episode that got canceled.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So a financial statement is pretty much like a business, so you have a business, right? So you have a business, right? And, I'm thinking that the financial statement is like pretty much like, I can't remember, but it's like.
So like to give you a hint,
Yes.
you know how we spoke earlier that the cash flow statement is one of the most important documents in a business. Okay, so let's put together all the important documents in a business, right? What would they go into?
A financial
A
statement.
financial statement. So that's what it is. So a financial statement, in essence, is a set of documents prepared under general accepted accounting guidelines. In short, it's called GAAP.
Nice.
So if you ever hear someone talk about GAAP, I'm not speaking GAAP in sense of GAAP insurance, but in the finance, because a lot of people mix those two. It has nothing to do with each other. But in the financial world, general accepted accounting guidelines, a business has to follow it. So a financial statement is basically just a document that shows that a business follows these guidelines. And the documents under a financial statement will be something like your cash flow statement, your balance sheet, and so on and so forth.
That makes sense.
Or your income statement. Those are things under it.
I got that one wrong.
Okay, so so the next question is, what are mutual funds?
Mutual funds.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar.
Because you've probably heard it a lot.
Mutual, first of all, let's break it down. The one mutual means in between two people, right? So in this case, we're talking business. So mutual is going to be in between two businesses. So I would want to say a mutual fund is a fund that, or it's, let's say it's an asset or something that is shared between two businesses. Would I be correct?
If there was a map, right? Like if there was like you were running a race and the race was like 10 miles, you're only 1 mile in.
Wow.
You didn't have to go that deep.
Dang.
I ain't a business. That's why you're teaching me what I don't know. That's why you're teaching me what I don't know.
Okay, so basically what
I thought she was trying to explain what the thing meant. Whatever, bro. Whatever. Tell me. Tell me what I don't know.
Okay, so with mutual funds, you have to think about stocks, right?
Okay.
So mutual funds, you would hear a lot of like fund managers talk, or people that are interested in stocks. They talk about mutual funds. Essentially, what mutual funds are, let's say you're an investor and I'm an investor. We would join our funds together and then invest in the market, invest in the stock market. So that's what you call mutual funds. And usually the funds are controlled by a fund manager. So we can put our stocks together, hire a fund manager, and they would take that money we've invested, or and decide what stocks are best to buy. So in essence, that would be mutual funds.
I guess that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So in definition, let me see. Mutual funds let you pool your money with other investors to mutually buy funds, bonds, or other investments. They'll be run by a professional money manager who decides which securities to buy. In other words, which stocks or bonds to buy and when to sell them. Yeah. So today, I'm the winner.
Well, you get that wrong.
Yeah, so I guess you won.
Yeah.
But I feel like
I did really good today, though.
I did.
Yeah.
I've just had enough sleep. That's all.
You did really good today.
And I drank the Propel. The Propel has them electrolytes.
If you're seeing this, definitely shout us out. I mean, we're shouting you out.
It's the potassium. It's the potassium.
But guys, this wraps up our episode today, our first episode of 2024.
Yes,
we're about
guys,
to go big this
blow
year.
it up, because we're about to go big this year. Thank you guys for watching us. As usual, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications to get an alert when we post a new banger. Hit us up on Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, guys. We're blowing up on TikTok. You don't want to miss out on that. Hit us up on TikTok, send us your dilemmas, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Let's see you guys later, guys. Bye.